Hi, everyone. My name is Georgina Pazcoguin, and I'm the co-founder of Final Ballet for Yellowface. And welcome to this episode of What's the Tea? A daily conversation with a dancer of Asian descent for the duration of May to celebrate Asian Pacific Heritage Month. In these discussions, we want to highlight just the achievements and experiences of Asians in dance. And today, I'm really happy to have my coworker and colleague, KJ Takahashi, who is here. It's going to chat with us. So I think I know the charity that you're going to raise money for, but I'm going to let you say it. So take the floor.
Hi, I'm KJ Takahashi. I'm an apprentice at NYCB Ballet. And thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yay. So jumping right in, how are you? What's going on right now? What are you missing? Like, clearly our season's been totally canceled and that's a huge bummer. Was there anything that you are looking forward to dancing? So those two questions.
I'm doing fine. Just the whole staying at home thing is a little weird because I'm not used to that, but some ballets that like I really was looking forward to performing was like, Ruby's, which streamed last night, and looking back at that, like, kind of had me nostalgic in a way. And then also, like, I knew that the Shaded Line was coming back, and I was hoping, like, I'd possibly get another show of that and have fun on stage again with you. But yeah, and then also I really do miss just coming back and being with everyone, having that sense of like community. Like, I feel like I've never experienced in a way when I was in the school, but now that like this is like my first year here, like I like that feeling, It's just I want to get back to that soon.
Yeah, it's like it's all of a sudden you're in the school and you're doing this training and you're very much like the student. And even though the culture is still shifting at New York City Ballet with the changeover, it's just once you're in that space and you're now doing this as a profession, it's your job. It's a really, you feel like you're in the trenches with your people, and we're all working together to get this show up and running. So taking it back to the beginning, I'd love to know, and our viewers would love to know, what made you start dancing?
What made me start dancing in general was like hip hop, Michael Jackson, the typical hip hop dancers, like inspirations, like Jabberwockies and all that. And then I remember my mom telling me, like, it's like a typical dancer story. I did not stay still. I did not know how to stay still. And like, she just like threw me in the hip hop classes that like my sister was taking at the time. And wait, let me rephrase that. My sister was taking ballet classes like at her studio, and they also had hip hop classes. So I took classes there. And then eventually I branched into ballet, but it was only a hobby for me at that point. But yeah, I mainly started dancing because Michael Jackson and all that.
I mean, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan too, so I hear you on that. So you said ballet started as a hobby. What got you into that first ballet class, if you don't mind answering that sub question?
I remember I was just watching one of my sister's classes, and then the director of the studio actually like saw me watching Yuki, my sister, who's at PNB also, and she was like, "Why don't you start taking ballet classes?" And like, I had no idea what ballet was, but my mom was just like, "Sure, why not?" And she said like I could start the classes free tuition and all that, so I was like, okay, might as well take advantage of that and start.
Yeah, what an opportunity. Can you let the viewers know your ethnic and cultural heritage, and to what degree do you feel connected to it?
So I am 100% Japanese, but born in America, so I'm a Japanese American. And I would say I'm like somewhat connected to my cultural background. I don't celebrate like hardcore like every single Japanese holiday that there is, but like I like when my parents do, like I go along with it and just sort of do what we do, you know.
So it's like an intermediate, like definitely the familiarity to it, but not like a strict adherence. And then this ethnic and cultural heritage of yours, do you find that it has informed you now as an artist, like a professional dance artist? Or it's like your career's just starting. So do you think that it will? Do you have hopes that it will? I mean, is it something like that? Like, are you familiar with any of like the Japanese dance styles?
I'm not really that familiar with any like Japanese dance styles, but you know, wait, sorry, could you rephrase the question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just asking if your cultural heritage has informed your dancing or the work that you would like to present as an artist now. And it's okay if not.
Yeah, I don't really know much about like my cultural dance or like whatever cultural dancing that my culture has. Like, I'm not really sure exactly what it is. So I guess I would say no to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that as you fully you didn't even get a chance to fully transition into being a full-fledged company member yet. So I can like that's a question that might be something that I can flip back and ask you like 6 or 7 years from now. I'm sure you'll have a different answer.
Likely.
All right. Well, how do you think then the world is doing, or the ballet world is doing, in terms of race and representation?
I think they're doing a good job. They're like, I was happy to see like the slight changes that they were making in like T and the Nutcracker and all that. And you know, I do believe like we're starting to get to like the goal of like what this whole final bow for Yellowface is like was started for, I think.
Yeah, it all started with a conversation, and I'm really proud of what New York City Ballet has done thus far. And I think there's a little bit more work to go, but like at least we're having the conversations, which is totally different than when I first got into the company. Have you, and this is also a question you may or may not have an answer to, but have you experienced yourself any sort of discrimination in ballet where you had to put on Yellowface that made you feel uncomfortable that you like to share with us today?
Actually, yeah, I do have like an experience. It was around Nutcracker time, like last year when I was still in the school, and I was guesting for this studio in Connecticut. It was just like a little gig, and like right off the bat, like I wasn't gonna be that surprised if I got casted as like the main Chinese boy, because like, you know, but like I wasn't hurt at that part. It was just like the choreography was like very like typical, like I had to do that and all that, and it was just, I didn't really feel that comfortable doing it, and like a part of me wanted to say something, but then another part was just like, you're also like a guest at the studio, so like I don't want to be disrespectful in any way. But yeah, that's like the only experience I've had. But there was like no problem about that with like City Ballet's production that I saw, at least.
I'm sorry that you were made to feel other in a sense, and one of your first guesting experiences, but hopefully you can what Phil and I have done, and I'm going to hawk Phil's book right now, but Phil wrote this amazing book, and in that it just outlines all of the ways to bring up an uncomfortable discussion. And I don't think that you did anything wrong in staying silent, but if there ever comes a time where hopefully you don't experience it again, but if you do, there are some really lovely tools to open up a conversation without shutting someone down. And it's not just like saying like, oh, this is racist. It's a conversation between like intent and impact. And I don't think that company that you guested at intended to make you feel other. It just happened. So I'm sorry that happened.
Okay.
You mentioned your sister.
Yes.
But how did your parents feel about you getting more serious about ballet and now being an apprentice with New York City Ballet? Like, how do they feel about that?
My parents, they were very supportive. They were like surprisingly actually like pretty cool. It was just like me doing what I want. And they were just like, if you're passionate for it, then go for it. If that's what you want to do in life, then we fully support you for that. And that went the same way with like what I did on YouTube. Like they were like, we fully support you. That's what you want to do, then go ahead. And then when I kind of changed my mind and said like I want to do ballet, they were like, all right, if that's what you're passionate about, then go ahead, like dream hard, basically. Yeah.
Right. So I'm flipping back because like I probably should know, but I'm not so familiar with your YouTube career. How did you get started and like why choose the platform of YouTube? How did all that come to you?
Oh, that branches off into like a completely like bigger story over there. But basically, there's this one video around, I think it was like 2010ish. It went super viral. This guy dancing, he moved exactly like a robot, and just like that racked up millions and millions of views. And like I saw it and I was like, whoa, like I want to be able to do that. So like I remember clearly for like a good month I was just watching that video over and over and over, and then I slowly started to learn like each step, and then like start to learn the timing, and it was a whole process. And then after I finished learning the entire video, like my dad was like, you want to record it and put it on YouTube? And I was like, sure. I wasn't expecting it to get anywhere, but eventually like the person that posted the video, the original video, like noticed it and then subscribed, and then subscribed to my channel, and then liked the video, so started sharing it, and then my video sort of kind of went viral. It wasn't as like viral as like 1 million views, but like it still went around, and that motivated me to like just keep doing what that style of dancing and posting it. And I've been doing that since to this day too. I still post one video a week and keep it up. Yeah.
Oh, that's so just ingenious of you to it started out as a curiosity, and then you also like, and I love that your dad was like, well, you done all this work, just like record it.
Yeah. Like you did all this work, might as well just like, record it and post it and show everyone. So
well, thank you for obliging me in that, because I think that's a very interesting perspective, and it just only made you love dance more clearly in doing that, and it fed this artistic desire that I see in your dancing now, just even as a quote unquote newbie is the wrong word, but as a new member of our family, like it's very clear you have an idea of what you want to present when you're on stage. So that's rare. Okay, well, this is it might feel like a weird question, but you are a professional dancer now. What advice would you have for someone who's even younger than you are, who wants to start a dance career? Because you went a very unconventional route, I think, like first starting on with YouTube.
I did.
And
wow, I don't even know what to say, since I'm still learning like to this day. But like I guess what I would but I guess what I would say is like learn as much as possible, like absorb as much like different styles of dance as possible, like while you're young, because that'll like benefit you in the long run, I believe. So like if it can be contemporary dance, tap dance, jazz, hip hop, just learn everything, even just the basics, and then like eventually once you're like about maybe like 16, 15, like it'll help you in the long run, because like you have a bigger dance vocabulary in your mind instead of just strictly ballet. So I think yeah, just learn as much as you can.
Yeah, I think you having proficiency in other styles of street dancing and hip hop and being able to assimilate and learn that style and then also learn the technique of ballet too, that gives you a huge advantage, especially when it comes to new choreographers who come in and abstract what ballet is. And just do you do your own choreography in the YouTube videos? Is that something?
No, they're all like improvised.
They're all improvised. So it's just like you're just a being that gets infused with the gift of dance.
No,
So
I
it's
just
like you don't
like
make it out. You just make it happen. Do you pick a piece of music at first, or does it?
Yeah, I find a piece of music that I like, and then I listen over it like maybe 3-4 times to get the rhythm and like hear the melody, what comes next. And then after that, my dad presses the record button and then we do it.
That's super
One take
fascinating.
done. Yeah.
I had no idea that you did this. Shame on me. Please accept my apology for that. I'm gonna have to check it out now. But yeah, that's really wonderful that this is just like an exercise in improv for you that you're sharing with your audience. So it's really, really cool.
And like I see this as like just like a second muscle that I work on every time, just once a week in my dance. That's it. And then now it's like 6 days a week is ballet. But then that one day is the YouTube stuff. But
yeah, I think that's super important, and I hope that you continue to respect that need in yourself to let that inspiration and spontaneity continue to just come out of you. I think that's something I wish as a dancer myself that I was more comfortable with. Like I'm not a great improviser, but yeah, that's very uniquely you, KJ. So which brings me to my final question. What do you think is needed to build a loyal and to get more people like your age to come see ballet and have a more inclusive audience? What do you think we need to do in this world of dance?
That's a very good question. I think first maybe like just society's view on ballet should be changed in a way, because I know like many people that still think that ballet is just like, just a sissy thing to do, and just like a thing that's like not like that important. But but it really is, like it's a form of entertainment that many people enjoy to watch. So I think just like we should maybe like find a way to educate people and like see people, or like show people like ballet from a different viewpoint, so that they better understand ballet.
Yeah, that's a great idea. KJ, thank you so much for letting me grill you with questions. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in, and make sure to check out our Instagram page right now for the reveal of who the next Dancer Chat will be, and tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time for our next conversation. KJ, please be safe in New York.
You too. I'm being safe as possible, but you also please be careful. Yeah.